Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sports for Supper. We're in week 2 of the season this year, and I'm Jared Lucky along here with Maury Stein, and Dwayne and Jeff won't be joining us here this evening, and we've got a good show for you tonight. We have volleyball here, then football, and then we're going to talk to the new superintendent later on and talk to him a little bit and get to know him. But we're going to jump right into it here, and we're going to start with volleyball, and Coach Griggs is here. And, Coach, thanks for joining us tonight.
No problem.
Coach, tell us a little bit about – we had Coach Stein here last week, and she told us a little bit about the season so far. But tell us a little bit about what you see from your team so far this year.
We're 11-10 now. We're on a 4-game winning streak. We have grown leaps and bounds in the last week. They're working hard. We know the areas that we need to improve on, and you know, we tell them that you get better at practice and then you get to show it at game time. So the things that we're working on is being consistent, and then when we're not doing well, to limit that to just a couple of points and not 8 or 9 like we do sometimes.
Tell us a little bit, Coach, how you prepare yourself in the non-district games, because from what I've seen as far as you've been in Medina Valley, the record really doesn't mean anything to you until you get into district, because y'all have always put yourself in strong competition before district play as far as the tournaments y'all play in. I mean, how do you – I mean, is that something that you –
I personally like to do that. There's a little give and take. Like, you can't do more than they can handle. Obviously, winning is a habit, so is losing. So we tried to mix in some ball clubs that we probably shouldn't beat just to make us better. I don't think there's a hitter in the district that's going to hit like Sotomayor did last night. So if, you know, my mentality, if we can stop that, if we can dig that, then we should be able to handle, you know, the 14 games in district.
And just being with the way you set your schedule, you've accumulated over 400 wins, and that's something that is really unheard of, especially in any sport, to be somewhere and have that many wins. But you mentioned that you're carrying more players this year than before. Just watching you play this year, every one of those young ladies are getting into the game, and every one of them performs when they're asked to.
Right. I mean, we tried to look at the end of the season and what we could do better, and we just kind of felt like maybe last year there was some instances where you didn't have someone to back up somebody if they were not playing well or if they were injured, and so it just keeps everybody accountable. It keeps us accountable as coaches, make sure that we're rating them every single day in practice. Not that we don't, but when they're not scoring against somebody else, I mean, if I didn't have a replacement, then I wouldn't have to worry about ever truly earning my spot. So I feel like the girls know, and I don't think they feel like it's a gotcha. They know if I'm not performing, somebody else can go in. You know, like last night, let's say Tony played a couple of sets and then someone went in for her. She needed a breather, and then she goes back in. I just feel like we're fresh. The bench has been amazing this year, as far as they'll talk to the people on the floor and let them know what's going on, or they come off and let them know what they've seen. So it's really been, so far, a really positive experience.
Now, you start district this
Next
week?
Friday.
Next Friday.
Next
Okay,
Friday.
I knew it was coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
So what's on the schedule coming up this week?
We have San Antonio Christian, which are going to be tough too. You know, those private schools, they have a little bit more leeway than we do. They can recruit athletes and stuff like that. So they're always fun to play against. We know we've got our work cut out for us. We're just excited that we're not playing on all day Saturday again, like we have the last 4 Saturdays. And then we've got Floresville at Floresville. That's always a tough game just because their gym is like its own zip code. It's gigantic and it's cold, and so you have to overcome all the things that you need to win.
Yeah.
Mentally.
In the SA Christian games at home?
Both of those are away. We're
They're
not
both
home
away.
again.
Okay.
Next Friday, I believe it's the 9th, is when we start district, and we're
Okay.
at home with South San.
Okay.
Well, you talked about teams recruiting. I thought you had 4, 6, 9 girls coming through the transfer portal next year.
I mean, they might be. I don't know. But we're not recruiting them
No,
because that's illegal.
For some of them. For some it is.
For some
Yeah.
for some schools that play by the rules.
But I know Coach Stein mentioned it. Y'all have a lot of girls that have come out for volleyball in your freshman and JV,
We
especially,
do.
right?
We had a lot this year, and that's just the growth. We've actually had 4 transfer athletes actually make the team this year. One of them's on varsity, one of them's on JV, and a couple are at the freshman level. So it's new and it's different. It's been good.
You mentioned a lot of youth. What is the breakdown on the varsity as far as the juniors, seniors? You have
We have 8 seniors. We have 2 juniors, and then we have 3 sophomores and a freshman.
When was the last time you had a freshman on varsity? Has it been a while?
Since my daughter was a freshman.
Okay.
Yeah. But she
Okay.
played halfway through the year.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where, someone got injured, and it wasn't because she was my daughter, which was probably said in the stands.
oh well.
Oh, and Kyla Solis. Kyla Solis
Oh.
was on varsity
Okay.
as a freshman also.
All right.
So every once in a while you get one.
And tell us who have you brought here tonight with you?
I have Tony Holzhaus. She is a 2-year starter or letterman also, and she's the thing I like about my girls this year is she could play right side, she could be a middle blocker if I absolutely needed her to, or she could be a left side hitter. And then I've got Brooke Piper. She's one of my 3 setters, and she's also a 2-year letterman. And they're 2 of my 8 seniors.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. Good luck in the weeks coming up and getting into district, and we'll talk to you again, hopefully, as we go on.
Okay.
And we'll move right into the girls here. And if Brooke, right?
Yes.
You'll just tell us your position. And she already said you're a senior, but what position do you play?
So I'm a setter.
And tell us a little bit about that. Like, what are you looking for? What is your main role doing that? Like, what are you supposed to do?
I'm supposed to get the second ball and set up the offense for.
And how do you decide who's getting it?
I try to run a fast offense if the ball is in the right placement, or maybe try to get away from the block and try to trick the other side.
So are you listening to your hitters? Are they calling
Yes.
for it and things like that
I
too?
also go to who's the loudest.
And
So,
no, go ahead. You're good.
So you actually have to have one eye looking to where they're setting up the defense, and another eye looking somewhere else, and another ear telling you who's hollering the loudest between the hitters.
Try to. That's the goal.
And
but-
you will never move to the back line or serve.
Oh, yes.
You do.
I'll go to the back. I play I'm technically like a DS, but so I serve.
That's a defensive specialist.
Right.
I'm
but
learning, Coach. I'm learning. So when you rotate in, you'll rotate in the back row?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how many spots do you play before
I play
another setter goes in?
I play 3 rotations, and then another.
So your
setter will
first
come in.
position would be to serve,
Serve.
and then, okay.
Yes.
And other sports? You play other sports other than volleyball?
I play soccer.
You play soccer too?
Yeah.
What position do you play
I'm
there?
a striker.
Really? That's cool. And y'all went to the playoffs last year in soccer,
Yes.
right? Yeah, y'all did pretty good. Any plans after high school?
Not sports related, but hopefully go to A&M if it goes well.
Was nothing wrong with that?
Nope. What else, Maury? Anything else? Well, good luck this year, and maybe we'll see you again here before the season's over. And we'll move on. Tony, right?
Yes.
And tell us what position you play.
I'm an outside hitter, but I also play middle and right side, really whatever is needed with the front row.
Wherever you need to be is where they put you.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what you're looking for on the court.
Definitely a block. Like if there's a big block up, you try to see if you can go line with it or maybe sharp cross, depending where the block's set up, and holes to try to dink it or tip it. Just smart play.
So you're just reading defense. That's your main thing is what you're looking for before you get to the ball is
Yes.
where they're at and where I can just hit it where they ain't, right?
Yes, yes.
So what is when you check into the game? You're basically the front row. Do you ever play any back?
I do. My second rotation, I pull back for serve receive, and then I go back up to front row. If that makes sense.
Not really.
No.
So-
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Oh,
And
okay.
serve receive.
I understand that now, Jared. Don't look at me like that. Who's your biggest critic?
What do you mean by that?
Your grandma or grandpa? Or
Oh.
do you hear anybody in the stands?
Definitely my Aunt Kathy. 100% I hear. But I try to, in the game, I don't actually hear anyone, but when I come off, I definitely hear my Aunt Kathy.
That's good.
Yes.
do you play other sports?
I do not.
Don't. And you got plans for after high school?
Yes, I plan to attend A&M and go into business, so
Cool. And
yes. If we get it.
They're saying they're going to ruin the game
Yeah.
if you couldn't hear that off the mic.
Yeah.
That's good. What's y'all? Any idea what you're going to major in, or
Business and management for me.
and Piper?
I would have majored in psychology.
Psychology. Wow, that's scary.
You can start on him.
Yeah, I was going to say might be your first customer at this point.
Well, girls, thanks for joining us. Good luck to
course.
y'all
Thank you.
in the season coming up here as y'all keep on going. And well, I mean, you played a lot of games already.
Absolutely.
That's crazy to think about. I mean, with one football game in, but y'all played 21 games, something like that. So good luck to y'all getting into district, and we'll hopefully see y'all again here before the end of the season.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach, for coming, and we'll talk to you later on down the line, too. We're going to go ahead and take a break and come back and transition into football. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue in a moment.
Sammy's Restaurant and Habeas Alsatian Bakery, two legendary landmarks in Castroville. From breakfast to delicious hometown lunch specials and more, Sammy's satisfies your taste buds with the unique flavor of Castroville. And from fresh baked breads to pies and pastries, South Texans have made Habeas Alsatian Bakery a must-to-visit since 1940. Sammy's Restaurant, online at sammysrestaurant.com. Habeas Alsatian Bakery, online at habeasbakery.com.
Texas, 268,000 square miles and then some. Twice as much elbow room as California. There's just no place like Texas. And you can take that to the bank. Texan Bank, poised and ready for a future that's wide open. Member FDIC.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall, or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacations.
Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home in Castroville, Texas, has been providing funeral services to families in the Medina Valley and surrounding areas for many generations. Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home is proud to support the broadcast by the Medina Valley Broadcast Network for the athletes and students participating in this event. Go Panthers! Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home, Castroville, Texas. You may view obituaries at Tondre, Tondre-Gwynn, Guinn.com, or visit the Facebook page of Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home to view funeral notices.
Bush's Chicken, one of the oldest locations in Castroville, is proud to serve the Medina Valley area. Bush's Chicken has one goal: be the best. Bush's Chicken knows its success comes from loyal customers in the communities they serve. Stop by Bush's Chicken on Tuesday and get the Tender Tuesday deal, or try their buffalo fries and ask about their Panther special. It's always a hit. Bush's Chicken, 935 Highway 90 East in Castroville. Call them at 830-538-2800.
Double T Outfitters offers deer, dove, turkey, quail, and exotic hunts in Southwest Texas on over 20,000 low-fenced acres. They facilitate professional guide services, lodging, and fantastic meals while providing the best in Southwest hunting. Contact Double T Outfitters to find out details about their current package hunts. Contact owner Brett Ferguson at 210-413-1597 or online at doubleThunting.com.
Welcome back to Sports for Supper. We just talked to Coach Griggs and a couple of her volleyball players, and now we're going to transition into football. We have Coach Sanchez is going to join us here again this evening. Coach, thanks for coming tonight.
Thanks for having us.
And, Coach, you had your first game against Kerrville last week.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about what you saw in that game and what you're taking into this week from that.
Absolutely. Well, you know, the saying goes is the biggest improvement always comes between the first and second game. We're looking forward to making a lot of improvements and correcting some of our mistakes. What you got out there is a very young team, and you know, in some places, a lot of the kids are taking their very first snaps under the lights. So it showed for us. But yeah, I'm not taking anything away from Coach Jones's team over there at Tybee. They're pretty solid, and they executed a game plan, and it worked. And I will say that there was a couple of things that you know, our kids could have folded 21-0 at half, and we came out and battled. And I saw, again, we talked about last week, the resiliency that this group has, and you know, they're very strong-willed, and I know they'll bounce back.
Yeah, you know, they came out in the second half, got that score right away, made it 21-6 at the time, and we had talked about, you know, even if you don't come back and win the game, try to win the half. And I mean, 7-6 in the second half was what it ended up being. So, you know, the team played a lot better in that second half and did some, you know, did a lot of improvements. It looked like you made some adjustments at halftime.
There's a lot of adjustments being made, a lot of conversations between the coaches. Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about John Jay coming up this week. They're pretty athletic from what I've heard.
Very big, very athletic. Their perimeter speed is really well. I mean, it's good. And they like to get outside, and they'll use that quarterback and that slot receiver and that running back, and they're really strong and fast kids. So we got our work cut out for us.
All three of those are returning from last year, correct?
I believe so, sir.
Yeah. I remember last year also they had a real big defensive lineman that was pretty outstanding. And what we noticed last year is Medina Valley just wore down compared to their size in the second half. The game was real close until the fourth quarter, and you could see that the size just kind of leaned on Medina Valley, and they just weren't able to sustain what they had. But for the first three quarters, Medina Valley was in the ballgame.
Well, I'll tell you what, those guys over there, I know Coach Gutierrez does a great job. You know, it's pretty straightforward what they're going to do. We know what they're going to do. That being said, you know, we have to get out there and stop it. So, you know, we've done some good game planning with Coach Martinez on the defensive side and Coach Medley on the offensive side, and we just have to execute.
So do you think, I mean, what are the main things that you see that need to, or what I guess I'm saying is, what was your focus after the game Friday going into Saturday? What was the main focus, saying, okay, this is what we really need to work on and improve on? Was there one thing that stood out more than the other, or was it just a combination of things?
I think our execution was the most important thing. I mean, I don't have any problems with our game plan. I think our game plan was solid and sound. You know, I think we need to execute. We need to be starting full speed as opposed to having that deer in the headlights look for a bit there. But I think other than that, I wouldn't go back and change our game plan.
But that's something that you got to kind of expect the first game out of the the season a deer in the headlight.
Well, yeah, it's hard to simulate game speed when you're in practice. You know, until you actually get in the game and you see, oh, okay, we knew these guys were quick, but they're quick. You know, it's hard to simulate that, and it looked like the adjustment got made at halftime to combat that.
Well, we do a lot of good on good, and our guys give each other good looks, and we make sure that we put our varsity guys out there with the opportunity to go against the speed that they're going to see. The ball goes different ways sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, there's really not much we can do about that. We just have to continue to compete, and that's what our boys did.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's not like you can say, well, the offense didn't move the ball or we didn't do, because they did.
They did
move the ball. They did move the ball.
Absolutely.
Just, the mistakes that happened at the worst time to kill the drive. You know what I mean? And that's the way football goes.
Yes, sir.
So
we talked about that too. It's not the kind of where the penalty occurs; it's when it occurs in the game, or
unfortunately,
one or two bad snaps when you got a drive going, or a false start, or the ineligible lineman downfield.
Yep.
That's something that happens. Your quarterback was trying to make a play, extended the drive, and extended the play. The lineman thought, hey, he's going to run, which we all thought he did too, and he floated a pretty pass out there. And but that was a drive killer there inside the 10-yard line.
Yes,
so
sir.
people who didn't pay attention to the game and watch the X's and O's didn't realize how close of a game it actually was. They look at the scoreboard and think, oh, wow, we lost by 3 touchdowns. We weren't in the game, which is, in fact, we were. It's just when those things occurred that sometimes it happens. In the first game, you'll take it.
I think there was 5 or 6 plays that could have swayed the game the opposite way, and but again, coulda, woulda, shoulda. We're looking at John Jay, and we're looking, like I told you guys last week, to improve on a weekly basis. So we're focused on ourselves, and we're focused on what we do as a Medina Valley Panthers, and less about what other people are doing.
Yep, and playing these teams like this that are athletic and fast and have good athletes, that's going to help you down the road in district play.
Absolutely, 100%.
It's like you look into the mirror or the mirror on the passenger's side. Objects are closer than they appear. Well, that's what it seems like. What happened Friday? It was the speed and everything. And once the second half came, it was an even ball game.
I agree.
And hey, that's making something positive.
Absolutely, and credit to the coaches for making those adjustments, or the ones that we talk as a staff, and then they go in there and implement that information or they relay that information to the kids, and the kids go out there and implement it on the field. So it's all in the communication, all in being able to get the trust from the kids to understand what they need to do, and our coaches were able to do that.
Yep. Well, Coach, tell us who you brought here with you tonight.
Well, I brought our starting quarterback, Colin Aldridge, and our starting running back, Anthony Guerrero. These are our 2 leading rushers. Colin was voted our MVP, and Anthony was voted our offensive MVP of the game. So,
okay. All right. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us.
Right.
Good luck in the game Friday night, and we'll see you maybe next week.
All right. Thank you. Yep. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll start with you, Colin.
Sir.
Just tell it you're the quarterback.
Sir.
You're a junior, correct?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior,
sir.
Okay. And this is your first year at Medina Valley?
This is my second
year at Medina Valley. Okay. So tell us a little bit about. So you're the starting quarterback. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that role and what you've taken on in that role.
I'm really just trying to do what the coaches need me to do my job, but I'm also trying to help everyone else,
So you guys run a little bit of everything. You got some shotgun, you got some I formation. Tell us a little bit about moving through those formations and stuff like that. How does that affect you at all, going under center as opposed to not being under center?
It's not really. When we're running the ball up the middle, we're just trying to pound them, and we're in shotgun. We're trying to open up the field. That's really it.
And so when you broke that long run for the touchdown early in the second half there. To kind of walk us through that, because it looked like it was a pass play that broke down, and you just made it happen. Is that right?
Yeah, I think on that one it was a sprint out, and the receiver just didn't run the right route. So I was like, I didn't see him, so I just took off.
pretty good burst
Yeah.
of speed.
Yeah, for sure.
They had the angle on you, and you still out
Sure.
ran them. My question is, being your first year, but being a senior, do you feel like you are the leader out there, that everything is going to revolve around you? If you show that you're doing 100%, that you'll get that out of your other players that are out there with you?
That's what I'm trying to do. Yes, sir. Lead by example. Yep.
Does Coach Sanchez give you the opportunity, if there's a play called in, do you have the
Do you get to
nosebleed of
change
saying,
it up?
I don't think that will work?
I mean, sometimes I look at coach and I give him a little hand signal if I want something, but I don't think I'm gonna change the play right now.
Not yet.
No, maybe in a few weeks, but not right now.
Talk to us a little bit about the defense of John Jay. What are you going to be seeing?
I think they're just gonna be bringing it because they got one safety up top. Everyone else is right there, so I'm expecting them to try to stop the run. Yep.
You are also the punter, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm just not letting anything out of the bag, but
Yeah.
do a lot of things back there. Worked it short and stuff like that too. Coach is laughing, but
Maybe.
do you? I mean, that's a third of the game. You take that aspect of your game serious also? The
Sure.
punting?
I mean, I'll try my best. Practice.
What is your longest in practice? How long have you?
I honestly don't know.
Longer than the run you made?
Probably not.
Did you know you had that burst when you took off?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing football for my whole life, so I knew I could run the ball.
So
Do you like to run? Would you rather run than throw? Or
I mean, I like it all. I like to run, and I like to throw, so.
well, do you play other sports?
Not this year, no.
Not this year.
No.
Okay. And any plans after high school?
Probably go to college, see what I do there.
Cool. Well,
we always ask every player to
Oh,
make
yeah.
a prediction. Any running touchdowns, passing touchdowns? Whether you
Try to get it both, probably.
both?
Yeah.
both. One,
Maybe.
At least one of each.
At least one of each.
At least
sure.
one of each. Like more than that.
As I saw two of the players yesterday at the volleyball game, and they both informed me that they reached their quota of what they said they were going to do as far as blocks or pancake blocks and tackles. So
Sure.
we kind of hold y'all to this. So we're looking forward to one touchdown on the ground and one through the air, and then turn the mic over to Mr. Guerrero, and he'll take care of the other 4 touchdowns.
Sure.
Well, Colin, thanks for joining us.
Sir.
And we look forward to seeing you play this year, and maybe we'll talk to you later on down the road.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anthony, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Running back, correct?
Yes, sir.
And, we saw you run last year. You had some hard runs against Kerrville. Tell us a little bit about. Was it difficult to run against them? Did they? I mean, there was a lot of times where you get hit early and you keep your feet moving. You end up with 5 yards down the line. Is that like you take some pride in that?
Definitely. I mean, I always try to, get as many yards as I can, no matter how many people are coming at me. But going into the game, I definitely knew it was going to be harder because of last year, them seeing what we were accustomed to, kind of having the same scheme, but not exactly. I knew they were probably going to stack the box, so I was looking for that.
And are you looking for that again this week?
Well, Jay they're a good aggressive defense that's always really stacked the box, and they play really tight. So, yeah, yes, sir.
And you were doing a lot of damage out of the I formation. Is that your favorite?
That's definitely my favorite.
Because it's like Jared said, it seemed like there was more yards after contact than there was from the start, and then towards the game, as the game went on, the offensive line
Picked up.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
they started opening some
kicking,
holes.
you know what, and opening some holes and made it easy for you. But my question is, if we have a 4th down and 2 to go, what play would you like Coach Sanchez to send in?
Oh, definitely ISO. I mean, when I'm out there, and we kind of had the same situation last weekend. That was the exact same play we were going to run. We're all confident in that play and that it'll get the job done. So
You run behind Dan and
CJ.
CJ.
Yes, sir.
But you have the option on that play. Do you have the option of pulling it from him, or is that just a straightaway handoff up the middle?
Not on I formation.
I formation.
No.
It's basically Guerrero off.
It's not just like.
We'll have to see about that one.
Well, no, now
Well, here's the thing.
Now they're not
You never
expecting
know.
it.
The thing is, when you're in the eye, you turn around, so it's not like you can see the defense behind you anyway. So, you know, when you're in the shotgun, you're looking right at them. So, do you get involved in the passing at all, or do you stay in and block most of the time?
Well, this year I've been mostly accustomed to staying in and blocking, being an extra hand out there, but we'll probably head more towards that to me becoming available in the passing game.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you get envious of Reza when he's out there catching that little flare
It's
pass
very
and there's nobody in front of him but your offensive tackling guard who are pulling? He's like, man, why can't I have that? Why can't I catch the ball out in the open? But that's something that he did good last year already in those plays, and he actually utilizes that good too.
Yes, sir.
Is that something you maybe we might see
Sometimes.
some wrinkles in there with you getting the ball out of the backfield on a little swing pass or something?
Well, we definitely work on those things. So I think at any time we can definitely pull that out. So
Great.
Awesome. You're a junior,
Yes, sir.
right? Yeah, I couldn't remember. That's why I asked you that earlier. I knew one of y'all were. You're a junior. Yeah, because you were a sophomore last year. You know, you got another year ahead of you this year.
Mm-hmm.
You were starting as a sophomore at running back. Tell us a little bit about your progression through that and like things that you want to improve on this year for next year as well.
well, the game's coming a lot slower than me. That's one thing I've definitely picked up on. Just being accustomed to the physicalness and the extra work it takes to really dominate in the game and not just be someone who does good. So definitely picking up on that.
Just
trying to carry
kind
it.
of both y'all at the same time. Is it getting easier for the body to heal after a pounding? Because y'all are two of the two that are getting hit the most. I mean, how's the body? Is it ice baths or how do you recover? Is there such a thing at Medina Valley? Where
Yes, sir. We can request ice baths. But you know, during football season, your body's never really fully 100%. So you just gotta prepare yourself, and before that and afterwards, going into the next week, looking forward. So.
Do you play other sports?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment.
No.
Okay. And guys, thanks for joining us.
How many touchdowns?
Oh yeah.
I'm shooting for.
rushing yards,
I'm shooting for.
something like
Obviously, yes, sir, over 100. But I'm shooting for 2 this week to make up for last week. So.
100 yards passing.
I'm gonna try. Yes, sir.
I like it. There you go.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us. Good luck this week, and we'll talk to you guys later on down the road. And we're going to go ahead and take a break and come back. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in a moment.
Sammy's Restaurant and Havy's Alsatian Bakery, 2 legendary landmarks in Castroville. From breakfast to delicious hometown lunch specials and more, Sammy's satisfies your taste buds with the unique flavor of Castroville. And from fresh baked breads to pies and pastries, South Texans have made Havy's Alsatian Bakery a must-to-visit since 1940. Sammy's Restaurant, online at sammysrestaurant.com. Havy's Alsatian Bakery, online at havysbakery.com.
Texas, 268,000 square miles and then some. Twice as much elbow room as California. There's just no place like Texas. And you can take that to the bank. Texan Bank, poised and ready for a future that's wide open. Member FDIC.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall, or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacations.
Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home in Castroville, Texas, has been providing funeral services to families in the Medina Valley and surrounding areas for many generations. Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home is proud to support the broadcast by the Medina Valley Broadcast Network for the athletes and students participating in this event. Go Panthers! Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home, Castroville, Texas. You may view obituaries at Tandre, Tondre-Gwynn, Guinn.com, or visit the Facebook page of Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home to view funeral notices.
Bush's Chicken, one of the oldest locations in Castroville, is proud to serve the Medina Valley area. Bush's Chicken has one goal: be the best. Bush's Chicken knows its success comes from loyal customers in the communities they serve. Stop by Bush's Chicken on Tuesday and get the Tender Tuesday deal, or try their buffalo fries and ask about their Panther special. It's always a hit. Bush's Chicken, 935 Highway 90 East in Castroville. Call them at 830-538-2800.
Double T Outfitters offers deer, dove, turkey, quail, and exotic hunts in Southwest Texas on over 20,000 low-fenced acres. They facilitate professional guide services, lodging, and fantastic meals while providing the best in Southwest hunting. Contact Double T Outfitters to find out details about their current package hunts. Contact owner Brett Ferguson at 210-413-1597 or online at DoubleTHunting.com.
Welcome back to Sports for Supper at Sammy's, and as always, we'd like to thank Sammy's Restaurant for letting us host these shows here. Been letting us do it for about 4 seasons now. We really appreciate them letting us do it here. They've always been great to us. We just had Coach Sanchez on, a couple of the football players, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit, but we have the new superintendent of Medina Valley ISD here with us this evening. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you introduce yourself, and if you would tell us a little bit about where you've been and how you got to be here at Medina Valley to start with.
Sure. So I'm Scott Kalos, and I have been in this profession for 30 years. I feel like I'm coming home to a certain degree because I've spent most of my life in this area. Grew up in Bandera, Texas, graduated high school from there, went to college at St. Mary's. Worked in Jordanton School District, Poth School District. So, like I said, I've spent a lot of my life in this area. So this was like coming back home for me. My wife, I'm married, have 2 kids. My wife also grew up in this area. She's from San Antonio. All of her family still lives in San Antonio. So this got us closer back to her family. Our son is a teacher and a coach in Comal ISD, so again, we're close to our son, a lot closer to our son. So, just excited to be here. Obviously, I'd say the main reason I'm here is because here's what I'm telling everybody. Everybody wants to be part of a winning team, right? Nobody wants to be on a losing team. Medina Valley ISD is a winning team. There's a lot of great things happening here, from academics to extracurricular. So I wanted to be associated with a winning team, so that's a big part of the reason I'm here as well.
And you've moved into a school district that is growing tremendously.
Absolutely.
Especially over the last few years, and it's going to continue to grow. Tell us a little bit about, I know they've had plans about building new schools, things like that. Tell us about coming into that and having to kind of take over some of that. What's that been like?
Yeah, it's been a tremendous challenge. I'm not going to lie. This district is growing really fast, and so that's a great thing in a lot of senses. It's better than the alternative where you're losing enrollment. But at the same time, that presents quite a bit of challenges from facilities to staffing. So, yeah, coming in, it's been the timing of this whole thing has been a challenge too, because I came in right in the middle of summer, and we're really trying to get prepared for the start of the school year. Then on top of that, we're having to look at, okay, what our projections are for enrollment. Do we have the staffing to cover that, and facilities cover that. So it's been a big challenge. Got some really good people in place within the district that have been going through this, so that has helped quite a bit. As far as me coming in and gathering that information from these people. So it's going to continue to be a challenge. We know that we've got a lot of work in that area, and that's a big focus of ours moving forward.
How many kids are actually enrolled in Medina Valley High School this year?
We in the high school.
In the high school,
we have a little over 2,000 in the high school. Yeah, wow. I think we're about up to 2,100.
Wow.
Total for the district, we're right at 7,700 kids.
And what is that in comparison to what it was last year?
Finished the year a little over 6,000 last year, so we're up about 700 kids right now. Yes, sir.
Yeah, 7,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
700 kids, yeah.
I'm sorry. We finished the year at 7,000.
7,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're up about 700 kids.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's
just from May to now.
Yeah.
Just from May to now. Yeah.
What do you got? You got questions?
Oh yeah, no, I just I'm a little biased here. This is Matt Castiglione, so I was part of the interview team that brought in Dr. Kalos, and I just his background, he's well-rounded, a lot of exposure to athletics, coaching, programs that are important to Medina Valley, CTE, education, all of those things. Dr. Kalos, can you kind of expand on your background in athletics and kind of what you've been through there?
Sure. So I was a high school athlete. I played football and basketball. Bandera was a small 3A at that time, so I had the opportunity to play more than one sport. Went on to college. I didn't play sports in college. I did work with the basketball coaching staff there and was part of their team as a student assistant coach, and then got into this profession as a teacher and a coach. So I started out as a teacher and a coach in a middle school up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, worked my way back down this way to Jourdanton, where I was a head basketball coach at Jourdanton, and then got into administration from there. So I love sports. I love athletics. I think kids can learn so many valuable life lessons through extracurricular and through athletics. So many things that will prepare them for life and make them successful in life, things that you don't necessarily always learn in the classroom. So I'm a big proponent of athletics, and I'm a big proponent of any extracurricular activity, whether it's fine arts or any FFA, whatever it might be. Kids need to be involved. Studies will show kids that are involved in schools, they're more successful.
Speaking of sports, I know over the last couple of years, swim has blown up at Medina Valley. Is there any other sports or programs that they're looking to try to implement things like that, or is it just?
Not that I'm aware of right now. I know that swim is the one that's been the most recent, and some things that we still need to work on with that. We also added middle school tennis this year. We didn't have that previously, so that's all I'm aware of right now. Obviously, as I get into this further,
right,
we'll keep working on that.
Can you tell us anything about projections on when they might have to have a new high school, new middle schools, things like that?
Yeah, sure. So. And the high school is our biggest concern right now as far as running out of room. So based on our projections that we're getting from our demographer, we've got about another 3 years before we run out of room at that high school, if we continue to grow at the rate that they're predicting that we grow at. So that is a big priority of ours. We are starting. We've already brought an architect on board to start looking at the design of that new high school. And the reason why we're doing that, because this project from design all the way through construction is going to take at least 3 years. At least 3 years. So we want to go ahead and start that design process right now, so that when, if and when we do get a bond passed, that we'll be ready to start construction on that right away.
Is there any, and I'm just asking this because it cover all the bases, is there any kind of land for that school, or is that something that still needs to be acquired?
The district has already purchased land for that.
They have?
Yes, sir.
Where is it at?
It is right next to Petrenko and Loma Alta Middle School.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
About 100 acres over there that's been purchased.
Okay. Anything?
No.
Oh.
I'm a little quiet. I've met with Dr. Kalos many times. I know what he's all about, and I think he's, he was really the only choice for this position for the district, in my opinion, and I think we're going to continue to do good things under his leadership. So.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. This is, like I said, this is an honor and privilege to be in this position, and I really look forward. Hey, we've got some work ahead of us, no doubt. We've got some work, but we're going to get it done. We'll get done what we need to get done to make sure that these kids get a good education and they're successful.
Yeah, you talked about the challenges of when you have the growth like that, of having to find staff and coaches, teachers, just everything. Is that something, is Medina Valley pretty competitive with being able to get that kind of stuff in here?
I believe so, yes. From
you're not the only school district that has that problem.
Absolutely not. Hey, there's a teacher shortage right now, right? But I think Medina Valley, starting out the school year, was in good shape when it came to teachers. And hey, but with our growth, we're having to look at hiring a few more, because we're understaffed in some areas where we didn't predict as much growth as what we got. So from that standpoint, yeah. With the reputation Medina Valley has, listen, in my opinion, teachers and any employee in this district, they don't necessarily come here for the money. You're not in this profession for the money. So they're going to come to a place where they feel like they're supported, where they feel like, hey, there's some good things happening, and I think that's why we didn't have a real hard time finding teachers to get the school year started. I will tell you, our biggest challenge has been with transportation. So there's a shortage of bus drivers, not just in Medina Valley, but everywhere. And that's a bad combination when you have a shortage of bus drivers and rapid enrollment in students, right? That's just a bad combination. So it's been a challenge for us to find bus drivers and get all of our routes covered. So we're looking at doing some things in that area to try and get some more people in and attract more drivers, attract some of our current employers to possibly drive a bus. So that is something. We have a special board meeting Friday night to look at some of those options.
Yeah, I'm glad you put that plug in there for the bus drivers, because I was going to throw that in there too. Anybody out there listening, check out the district website, because we do need bus drivers.
And well, thank you. Thanks for joining us here. Is there anything else that you want to tell everybody, or?
No, I just, first of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate you having me. And I'm a pretty simple man. I try and keep things as simple as possible. People ask me what's my philosophy of education. There's a lot of fancy words that you could use for that, but my philosophy is a basic, hey, schools are for kids. We're here for the kids, so we need to, when we're making decisions, when we're making plans, when we're implementing things, we need to make sure that we're keeping kids at the forefront and making sure what we're doing is what's best for kids. From the success in this school district, I know that's what's been happening, and I want to make sure that continues to happen.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
And if you ever want to join us again, you're more than welcome to.
I appreciate it.
We like having you on here. thanks for being here, and maybe we'll talk to you later on down the line.
Yes, sir.
We're going to go ahead and take a break, and then we're going to come back and kind of wrap it up and, tell you about the games this week and how to listen to them and that kind of thing. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment.
Double T Outfitters offers beer, Bakery, turkey, legendary and exotic hunts in Southwest Texas on over 20,000 low-fence acres. They facilitate professional guide services, lodging, and fantastic meals while providing the best in Southwest hunting. Contact Double T Outfitters to find out details about their current package hunts. Contact owner Brett Ferguson at 210-413-1597 or online at doubleThunting.com.
Texas, 268,000 square miles and then some. Twice as much elbow room as California. There's just no place like Texas. And you can take that to the bank. Texan Bank, poised and ready for a future that's wide open. Member FDIC.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacations.
Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home in Castroville, Texas, has been providing funeral services to families in the Medina Valley and surrounding areas for many generations. Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home is proud to support the broadcast by the Medina Valley Broadcast Network for the athletes and students participating in this event. Go Panthers! Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home, Castroville, Texas. You may view obituaries at Tondre, Tondre-Gwynn, Guinn.com, or visit the Facebook page of Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home to view funeral notices.
Bush's Chicken, one of the oldest locations in Castroville, is proud to serve the Medina Valley area. Bush's Chicken has one goal: be the best. Bush's Chicken knows its success comes from loyal customers in the communities they serve. Stop by Bush's Chicken on Tuesday and get the Tender Tuesday deal, or try their buffalo fries and ask about their Panther special. It's always a hit. Bush's Chicken, 935 Highway 90 East in Castroville. Call them at 830-538-2800.
Sammy's Restaurant and Havy's Alsatian Bakery, two legendary landmarks in Castroville. From breakfast to delicious hometown lunch specials and more, Sammy's satisfies your taste buds with the unique flavor of Castroville. And from fresh baked breads to pies and pastries, South Texans have made Havy's Alsatian Bakery a must-to-visit since 1940. Sammy's Restaurant, online at sammysrestaurant.com. Havy's Alsatian Bakery, online at havysbakery.com.
Texas, 268,000 square miles and then some. Twice as much elbow room as California. There's just no place like Texas. And you can take that to the bank. Texan Bank, poised and ready for a future that's wide open. Member FDIC.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall, or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you.
Welcome back here to Sports for Supper. Just going to kind of quickly summarize everything we had on here. We had Coach Griggs on here with a couple of her volleyball players talking about their season, and they're on a 4-game win streak now. I know when Coach Stein was in here last week, they were under 500. They're 11-10 now. They're game over. They start district next Friday night, so things are starting to go the right way. They got a couple of tough games. They play San Antonio Christian Friday night. I think they play at Floresville next week. Both those games are away, but you can go out there. I don't know if we're going to be broadcasting any of those games or not.
I think the first one will be Friday.
Next Friday.
Yes.
Yeah, for district. So y'all can go out and support the Panthers, or next Friday night it'll be at home. You can go out there and listen, or you can listen here on MVBN2. That's the girls' network. We try to keep the boys and girls separate on here. That way it's easier to find the broadcast. But had them on. We talked to Coach Sanchez. He had a lot of positive things to say going into this game. John Jay's going to be no slouch.
No.
They've got some athletes. They're a 6A school on top of that. So I think that they're going to be bigger and quicker than what we saw against Kerrville. But we saw some positives in the second half against Kerrville, so hopefully they can build on that, correct some of those small little mistakes that were drive killers, and, compete with these guys.
And he sat across the table and he acknowledged right there. I mean,
Yeah.
he took the blame, and not take the blame, but he said we made some penalties and when we shouldn't have, and it cost us, some big plays, and we still should have been in the game. But I want to also thank Matt Castiglione.
Yep.
Matt sitting across from us now on the mic. Matt, thank you for joining us. And what did you? We're a football player. What do you see positives and negatives, and what the Panthers? What do you expect from them going forward?
Well, I like seeing them run out of the I formation. We're running a little bit of old school Medina Valley smash mouth offense. We got a good running back, and heck, we got a quarterback that can run too. So, I think moving forward, they got a lot of youth too that they've got some jitters they've got to deal with. But I think they're going to have a good program moving forward.
Well, we sat here last year, Jared and I did. Matt, I don't know if you are aware of it, but we had the whole offensive line here last year, and they were sophomores.
Yeah.
And so now they got a year up, and you can tell how mature they were just sitting here last week. So the formula is there, Jared. It's just how you mix the formula up.
And I just got a text from Jeff that we will be broadcasting the Floresville game.
Oh, okay.
So you can tune in next Tuesday night, I believe. That's when it is. The game's at Floresville, so you can tune in and listen, watch the volleyball game here on MVBN2.
Wonderful.
But they've got some young players that have had a year experience. It's always good when you have sophomores that played, on the varsity level, not just on JV. Anthony Guerrero, who was here earlier, your running back, you heard him say, the game's slower for me now, which is a big deal because when you're a sophomore thrown on varsity,
it's a blur.
The speed is completely different from JV to varsity. And so, to have that kind of maturity and to be able to say, the game's slower for me now, and he's only a junior, those are things that are very productive for you going forward. And, the thing is, it's the only other non-district game we have this year because the district's a lot larger. So you only have Kerrville, Tivy, and John Jay, and then you jump right into district, your third game of the season now. So they're playing tough opponents, but those are things that are going to help them out later on down the road.
Absolutely.
We also had the new superintendent on here, and he's talking a little bit about the school district and the growth of the district on here. And, guys, 700 new enrollment from May to now. That's insane. That's crazy. and it's just going to keep on growing. So, Medina Valley's growing at a fast pace, and like you said, we're going to have a new high school pretty soon, and
that's just the way it goes.
And
growth is here.
But one thing you've seen already with that growth is we're bringing in a lot more athletes, from these new communities moving in, and they're contributing on these teams now, so it's not the same, small groups that we had before. We're getting athletes from all over the district now, which is a good thing.
Coach Grigg said she had 4 transfers that made the team this year, and, those are, and when your numbers are up like they have, he said we had over 100 for freshman football last week. You have 90 kids on JV. That's a lot of kids coming out for that.
Just saying that we have 2 freshman games tomorrow.
Yeah. You got 2 freshman
games. And what I like about it is they're not saying A and B. It's black and orange.
Yeah.
Because you don't want that stigma on the B team.
The other thing is they're freshmen, so there's no telling what they're going to develop in the next couple
it's
of years.
fluid. These kids can move around as they improve, and they can learn to compete. That's what you want to happen.
Yeah, the main thing is getting playing time and getting in there and getting to develop.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and even on the volleyball program, they're carrying enough players on the freshman team for 2 freshman teams now in volleyball. So just shows you that we're gaining just the number of athletes at the school over what we've had in past years,
Well, and the good thing about that is it's a lot of kids, but the competition for the positions is better, and that in turn is going to make your program better because these kids aren't just, hey, I'm going to be starting this year. I'm right here and it's mine. Now you got someone else that if you don't play well, there's someone else ready to take that spot.
And you see that with a lot of the underclassmen on these teams, like you mentioned. I mean, the varsity volleyball program's got freshmen and sophomores playing in varsity. I mean, you're putting the best athletes on the field or the court now, and that's what we want,
Yeah, for sure. The game this week is a home game. It's the home opener for Medina Valley against John Jay. It is a 7 o'clock kickoff. We will be on the air around 6:40, and we're excited for having a home game. It's always, you don't like starting the year on the road, but it gives you something to look forward to that next week to get your home opener. And, looking at the weather, it's been a little rainy, but it's supposed to cool off, be a little cooler this week. So, and I was looking at the forecast. There was not much rain for Friday. Now, that doesn't mean a lot here. That can change daily. Seems like it's rained everywhere except where I live. We haven't gotten anything, but everyone else has. But, it should be an exciting week. And tune in on Friday night for the home opener, John Jay and Medina Valley. And tune in next Tuesday night for the first volleyball broadcast at Floresville. So for Maury and Matt, I'm Jared Lucky, and I'm saying good night. God bless, and we'll see you on